Time now for our 360 round. We're diving into IBM off the back of its quarterly results. The company did beat estimates on the top and bottom line, but services came in weaker than expected. The stock down 8% right now. I want to bring in our panel. We've got Kim Forrest, founder and chief investment officer, Boca Capital Partners, and Nathaniel Bradley, CEO of Data Vault AI. Thank you both for joining us. Nathaniel, let's start out with you. Your reaction to its results. They posted EPS 280 on an adjusted basis. Revenue 16.98 billion. Software weaker than expected. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I think you should also point out the annual recurring revenue at 22.7 billion. This is a buying opportunity. There is not another source for trusted American AI. This is the leader. When you look at the landscape, Amazon, Google, these companies struggle with trust. They have a trust deficit. IBM doesn't have that deficit, and therefore they are not surviving AI bulge. They're leading the entire industry in this space, especially in America. When you look at the expanded landscape they have now, with energy investments and solving for a lot of the regulatory conundrums in the AI space, this is a company poised to continue their leadership.
Kim, what's your reaction to their results?
Well, I think the reaction of the stock today shows that people aren't necessarily buying that IBM is the AI leader, and they expected a whole lot more AI in this quarter than they got. Now, I've covered this company since, I believe, 1999, when I started as a sell-side analyst. I'm trying to do the math, but we're not going to do it anyhow. And what they are to me and to most investors before AI is an enterprise software, hardware, and services company. And they did a great job in this quarter. Yes, they do have some AI offerings, but again, it's not a pure AI play, so you're not going to get that, I don't know, just huge sugar rush high of like owning an Nvidia. And I think that's what a lot of investors who have lately got into the stock were thinking when they thought, oh, IBM is an AI company.
Oh, I love the way you, going back to 1999, that makes me think of the party like it's 1999. Nathaniel, I've got to push back a little bit because, look, the top brass said this, quote, this was the finance chief saying, delayed decision-making, especially in discretionary projects, as well as prior year renewals impacted our in-period signings. Does that give you any concern?
It does not. I think, there is a careful conservative nature in this company. You're not going to have them overstate what's possible. In terms of the turbulence that you might see in other sectors, I'd say there's a memory deficit in this space. Much more so than the processing power that's been in an absolute horse race. But if you look at IBM, I stated they're the trusted player. 2007 rings a bell for me. I was at the University of Arizona Science and Tech Park, and we went upstairs to see an early stage of Watson, and it inspired us our entire careers. This is a company that has really plowed the way in this industry of AI. And they have a trusted position that all these other companies wish they had. And I think that discipline and that cross-discipline into enterprise software is what AI needs. And it must have, in fact. And I think some of these other sources are poisoned. In particular, those international sources of AI simply cannot be trusted here in America.
Okay. Kim, I want to yield the floor to you for the last word here. Final thought on IBM. Like you mentioned, you're not going to get the sugar rush that you get from, say, like an Nvidia. But to be fair, IBM has outperformed the S&P 500 year to date. What's your view on where it goes from here through the balance of the year?
Well, I think it's really what investors are willing to buy, right? Again, I think the slowdown that you mentioned is really an example of how thoughtful companies are being around AI. They're pulling back spending on the more core, the day-to-day kind of IT applications and upgrading those, trying to decide how to spend their IT budget to push their companies forward. And the other guest does have a point that, Watson's been around for a while, but it's unclear what companies are thinking about how to get that productivity hit from AI. So if you're looking for pure AI, IBM isn't your play. If you want to have a good mix of business-focused AI, for the very long haul, IBM might be the play for you.
All right. Well, right now, investor reaction, at least for today, is we're out. The stock down more than 8% at the moment. But again, it's outperformed the S&P 500 year to date. Thank you, guys. We will leave our conversation there for today. That's Kim Forrest of Boca Capital Partners and Nathaniel Bradley of Data Vault.